Sam Deroo, Belgium captain, massive outside hitter. After winning back-to-back Polish titles with Zaksa, he's now in the Russian capital with Dynamo Moscow, looking to add more success to an already glittering career. I called him to check in. We spoke about family, the national team, the Olympic dream, and how he's passing the time. Hey Sam, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Sitting at home, of course, like most of us during this period. Yeah, competition stopped everywhere. So for us volleyball players, it's a total different rhythm than usual, and it's like adapting a little bit, but I'm getting used to it.
Well, I'm glad you're getting used to it. You look well, mate. The chin's staying strong. Where in the world are you then? Are you still in Russia?
No. Now I'm in Belgium at home. Actually, in Russia, they postponed our league in March somewhere, like one of the latest. And then we stayed there. We were still practicing, also even shaking hands and everything while the world was crashing down with Corona. And like we were a bit like shaky and like, oh, what's going on? But then the final day that there was international flights allowed from Russia, like finally they released us and they said, okay, now you can go home, because otherwise, for sure, I would have still been, I would have been still there, I think, because there are no flights out anymore now.
Thankfully, you got out in time. How is it being back in Belgium then?
Yeah, it's different again. Like especially the not having really like the future vision of playing volleyball again on this moment is a bit weird for us. Usually we're always longing to this next holiday or this next period where we get some rest. And I was like, when can we touch the ball again? You know, like the only thing I've been doing is like playing in my apartment a little bit against the wall, trying not to break stuff around it. But yeah, basically it's like, yeah, it's just weird to not have this perspective on the future, and then yeah, and that's a bit strange for us, I think, because like always there's national team, there's clubs, there's always the next thing waiting, and now it's just the big black hole, like when it's all gonna be over. But I guess that's for everybody like this and in every sector. So it's not different than any other.
The grass is greener, isn't always greener, isn't it? You always want what you can't have. What are you doing then with your days to fill the time and stay sane?
Well, I'm still working out a bit, like not too much, of course. Like, of course, I think it's a good period to give some rest to your body, but it's also a bit dangerous because, of course, like you're at home all the time. Like, there's always the guilty trees that are waiting for you, like some cookies or chocolates or whatever. So like, it's good that you keep your body still a little bit active. So yeah, to fill the time, I've been just arranging my apartment, cook a little bit, spend some time with my son also. Yeah, I've been busy actually. Honestly, like I'm still waiting for the really like down day to sit in the couch all day. I had like 2 of those in Russia when we stopped training, and like my bags were ready to go, but we couldn't leave yet. We couldn't practice, and then I had 2 days like, what am I doing today? Like seriously, like I have no idea. So then it was like 2 days I didn't do anything, but for the rest I've been quite busy actually.
I thought, do you know what? During this lockdown, we're just going to do nothing, and I'm going to watch everything on Netflix. I'm probably going to paint the apartment. I'm going to learn a language. I'm going to read all these books, and I wonder, like, how we had time to do anything in our normal lives.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Like, also, like, I've been waiting to like try to learn guitar, and I think like now is the perfect moment. I want to learn guitar. I like to play guitar. But I still haven't started yet.
Oh, well, funny you should say that, right? Because I'm all right on the guitar, but when lockdown started, I thought I'm going to learn piano. So I bought this.
Oh,
right?
you bought a keyboard.
Bought it, and do you know what I did yesterday? Got a cloth and wiped the dust off it because
at least you already unpacked it.
Yeah. That's well. You got to take it out of the box, haven't you? You know, that's part of the fun. In fact, I saw on Instagram that you've been unboxing treats. Some people are still looking after you during lockdown.
Yeah, that's nice though. Like I have a very good friend from high school, and he started in a small company for some reaction training, like agility, I think is the word. So that has been nice. It's a fun toy to play with. Actually, you're physically busy without really like having the feeling that you're working out, or like your mental, you're thinking about something else because you have to focus on following the lights and then the direction. So that's nice. That's something different to play with. And then like I have this supplement company, Strong Supplies, who is still very supportive, which is nice because it's not only like shakes, which on this moment I'm not really using. Like it's not exactly the moment to gain weight and to get super heavy for me, but still like the supplements are very welcome on this moment. Yeah.
I think quite a few people are going to be gaining weight and getting super heavy
Yeah,
during
exactly.
lockdown.
That's so dangerous. Like I started like 105 on the top of the season, like when I was in the final shape. Like because in Russia, honestly, we would have been finished by now. Like we only had 2 weeks more to go. We had one playoff game, and we already won the first playoff game, like an away game. So we basically qualified for final six, and it was the week after. So like we would have been done. Like I was like really on the top of my shape. Like okay, now it's gonna happen. And I'm like, ciao, let's go home, bye bye. So yeah, like I was like 104, 105 like that, and now I'm down to 101 or something, which is okay because for sure you will lose muscles. Like you can work out 4 hours a day, like you're doing maximum 1 hour, like some push-ups in the apartment. It's impossible to keep the amount of muscle. So it would have been bad if I would have stayed the same or even gone up in weight. That would have been terrible.
I was going to say that's the difference between you and me, because when you're in shape, you gain weight. When I'm not in shape, I gain weight. Like that's the athlete and the normal human, isn't it? But right, before we talk about volleyball, I'm interested in the guitar now. Have you got it handy? Can you give me something?
No, and the guitar.
Yeah.
I have nothing, man. I haven't started. Like, I still have to order one actually. Like,
Okay. All right.
so
Well,
yeah, like I have Guitar Hero on the PlayStation, though, which I was doing the other day. But then my eyes almost popped out because I was so focused on the screen, like So yeah, that was not so easy.
I stand by the fact that Guitar Hero is more difficult than the actual guitar. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Okay, I'll keep practicing on there then first.
Let's have a chat about Russia then, because I've never been, and it seems like an amazing country. You've been there for most of a season now. You're going back next year. So how's the experience been living and playing there?
It was different. Like it was totally different than any other European league I've played in, honestly. The training rhythm was a bit different. Like usually you would do like 3 days a double training and then like 3 day, which was a bit weird because like in Europe usually you have like 6 days, but 2 or 3 half days in this week. So like in the end, it's pretty much the same amount in my opinion, but it's just organized differently. Plus, like you're arriving in a country, like the first weeks I was the only foreigner there, so everybody speaks Russian.
Okay.
With some guys, I could exchange a word of Italian. Like the coach and a couple of the staff could speak a little bit of English. But the positive part was that they really were trying to improve their English, which was nice. Like with some guys on the end of the season, we really got along.
Oh, cool.
And of course, by the time that Steven Maher also arrived from Canada, like he arrived later because he went to World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
That was really nice because like we sort of like you have your buddy, like, and then they're like in a foreign team, it's many times like this. If you have like one other foreigner you're with too, like you have like your buddy, so we could hang out and like also human on the human level we also matched pretty well, so that was nice. It was nice to have him there. And Russia in general, Moscow is very like European minded in my opinion. There's a lot of Western stores, like Western mentality, but still, in my opinion, you could feel like the history of the country in a part, like
And That's one of the great things about being an athlete in your position. Saying that, you don't pick easy countries to sort of pick up the language, do you? When you think Poland, Russia, like...
Yeah, like I started easily. Like I stayed in Belgium for a while, then I went to Italy, which was an amazing language to learn, and I can still speak, so I'm very happy about that. But then yeah, Poland got more difficult, and Russia now is pretty impossible for me. Like also with the different writing, the Cyrillic.
Oh,
Like I can manage reading now, like slowly, but I can manage reading something because otherwise you're lost. Like
yeah.
even in Moscow, like okay, the metro, there is English signs, but in the rest of the city, many times on menus, restaurants, it's many times there's no English variant or whatever. So you have to like you just have to.
Easy. So you've nailed English, Flemish, Italian.
French.
French? Oh my god! So that's four. Could you get by in Polish or?
No, like I understand some basic things. Like I could go to a restaurant or a supermarket and find my way, but like having a conversation about anything else would be hard, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes time, you know. Like also like French, I got it. I think 6 or 7, no more, like 8 years in school. I got French, but when I actually got out of school and I learned Italian, my French was terrible. Like I couldn't speak one normal sentence in French at that time. But then I went to Poland, and there was like first Tilly and Tonuti, and I stayed there 4 years at Tonuti, and like more and more I would always try to speak in French with them, even if it was very funny in the beginning sometimes because I could make like this Italian words in French, you know, like you have like parcheggiare, like park your car, and I would say parchegge, but it's like totally not correct. Like it's parcheggiare. So they would always laugh at me that I'm like making this like different combinations. That's funny, but like you just do like some time, and then you learn a language. And,
I suppose if there's one guy that you want to get French and Italian mixed up with, it's probably Tonuti, isn't it? Because he'll help you out. But
yeah, like he would understand me anyway because he always also speaks Italian, so it's fine. And like he's a very good friend of me, so it was always like it's nice when you have the feeling that you can make errors with someone, you know, and like that you don't have to be perfect in something, and they will still understand you, and like don't worry, it's fine. So yeah, it's always nice to try out these things then with this kind of people.
you had a pretty awesome time in Poland, didn't you? I saw that recently there was the picture. It was 3 years ago since you won the Polish Championship, and that picture went up of you guys with the trophy, and there was all the sort of ticker tape and stuff on the floor. What was it like to win a Polish Championship? Because I love Polish volleyball, and I think their fans are amazing. That must have been a really special moment for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. The fans and community around volleyball is really amazing in Poland. Like in my opinion, the fan community is the best in the world for me. It was awesome to win. Like I pretty much like I can recall like because like we won 3 titles. I can recall each one of them. Like the first was against Rzeszów, which was like very strong team at that moment. Like still they were a powerhouse in Polish volleyball, but at that time it was difficult to beat them. And like it was a best of 5 final, the only one I've played so far because after they changed the format. Okay. And we won in 3 games, 3 times 3-0. Even I was like, what is happening? And then we were like, it was for me like also the first big major title, like because before I was in sub top teams in Italy, and with Rusalari I didn't win a title in Belgium, unfortunately. So it was very nice, like release also of energy, and like you build up this emotion inside of you and you really want to win something big. So yeah, that was a big relief and satisfaction, and it also gives you more power to like believe in yourself more and keep working for those moments because you know what can be waiting in the end. So that was awesome. And yeah, recently like they're sharing some pictures like from the past, which happens a lot now, also games, and sometimes you even see on TV like football games of 1974 or something. I'm like, what is happening? But seriously, please can we get back to reality? So like there's all like throwbacks all the time of these things, and which is nice because like on Instagram you can see some memories back, and like sometimes you just start to forget about them, but then just seeing one picture it brings back all these feelings and emotions, and that's pretty awesome. So yeah, the winning in Poland was really great, and the only thing I can hope is I can still win like wherever like doesn't matter for me. I always try to pick teams to play in where I can have a big contribution and where we can try to win something. So I hope in the future we'll continue like this. Yeah.
Let's have a little chat about Belgium then, because of course you've had so much success with club volleyball around Europe, and I saw something that you put up, a quote where you said, with regards to the Olympics, the dream will have to remain a dream for now. Is that like the one thing that you'd really love to do, is take Belgium to an Olympic Games?
Yeah, like it's really something. It's my biggest career goal, I think, reaching the Olympics and playing there and competing there. Because, yeah, if you're honest, as a European team, sometimes it's easier to have a very good result on the Olympics than to get there, actually. So, yeah, it would be like really awesome to experience this general feeling of being there, and like it's the biggest sport event in the world. So like if you want to reach something as an athlete, it's that, you know. It even goes that far that like many times I've been considering like trying to make switch to beach volleyball because it could be maybe easier. But even then, like you still need to find a partner. You have to work out this whole new sport actually, because it's not going to happen from one day to the other. But many times I've seen a successful switch between like indoor and outdoor volleyball. So like in my mind it was an option until a certain point. I'm not quite sure now, because like it was more when I was like maybe sub-top player indoor, and now I have the feeling like I can really like knock on the door of like the best teams in indoor, and like I'm at the moment where I really want to see what I can reach indoor first, until I'm considering making a switch maybe for reaching Olympics. Because also like you have to consider the fact that like it's not so supported maybe in Belgium like it is in Brazil, or even in Poland, like, or in Russia, where like the beach volleyball teams are really supported well. So like, of course, the difference in your life, like also financially, will be huge if you want to make a change from indoor to outdoor volleyball.
I suppose with age on your side, you've got at least one more go at an indoor Olympics if you stay fit, maybe two.
Yeah, should be. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure one. Let's say for sure one. I'm hoping on two, but then I will really have to stretch it, and probably I also have to count on many other stronger players to help me get there. Then and then yeah. In the end, it's a team sport, and in a thing like this, you can really notice it also. Like you really need a strong team to get to Olympics, especially in Europe, and that's like I think our federation now, they try to hire a new coach who wants to contribute for 4 years, like for an Olympic cycle. Yeah. So they hired Fernando Munoz as the new coach, and like we haven't met in person yet now. Okay, like of course I've seen him when he was coaching Spain and everything. But yeah, I hope we can put on a project with some youth and with players who are motivated to continue for 4 years, because in the end that should be the goal. And it's not so easy right now. We don't have like 10,000 players we can choose from, because honestly, like that for me is also incredible in Russia. Like there are so many good Russian players that I've never heard of, and in my opinion, like if they would be like surrounded well or equipped well, then they could be in like any national team and they could play. Maybe like, okay, maybe they're maybe not used to play 3-4 days in a row, but sometimes I see some guys play and I think like, what the hell? Like, how is it possible? I've never heard of him.
It's like they're built differently. I remember the first time I saw Mazursky in person. I'm like, he's not human. He's not
how
human.
How tall are you?
I'm 191, so 6'2".
And still, it's a huge difference if you see him.
hey, look, I've been to some countries before. So I went to Azerbaijan, and people were staring at me on the train like, who's that huge white man? And then obviously you guys turn up, and it's like, but I look at people like him, and I'm like, he's not made of the same stuff as me. So like, yeah, it's. You mentioned Rusalari there, and of course they're doing well. They did well in the Champions League this season, reaching the playoffs. Does it make you happy that there's a Belgian team being successful on the big stage?
Yeah, of course. Like, also because there's many of my friends playing there, and it's just, I really love that team. It's really like a big family also a little bit. The community is nice. Like, they're always perfectly in order with everything. Like, so yeah, I wish them really the best. And always when I see they're doing well, I'm very happy. And like, many times I'm even watching them on the TV channel for Champions League. I forgot the name, but like, I'm checking them out, and then yeah, it's cool that they had a survivable group this year. And like, it's always easy to say before that, yeah, this group, we can do something, we can survive, but then you actually have to do it, and they did it. And it's too bad that like it got interrupted and they couldn't travel to Civitanova, because for sure it was like the highlight of their season next to the cup final. So I think that could have been amazing for them, but yeah, unfortunately not. But it's nice they're doing well, honestly.
I'm gonna show you a video now, and I apologize because I feel as though I need to give you a trigger warning. It is a game that you lose. So sorry. I will say it's not my idea.
Oh no, this is okay. The semi-final of European.
Yeah.
It was a very tough game. Like, we started off badly, like a bit nervous. I got subbed out even pretty fast. Then we had like a little moment we could do something, but anyway, Russia was so freaking strong that they were serving, like, not making any errors. We were doing what we could, but we were fighting, like you can see here. But anyway, like, they were beasts.
The tournament as a whole, though,
it exceeded my expectations, and yeah, that we reached the semifinals was, of course, a very good performance, in my opinion. That we beat Italy that strong in the quarterfinals was, like, I think nobody expected that. Like, that for sure exceeded the expectations. I think as a national team, that was our best game ever. We totally destroyed them. Like, it was 3-0. Like, they didn't see the court, and to beat Italy in that kind of way, like, even if it was without Zaitsev and without Fontarena, still they have a very good team with players who play in the best division in the world, in my opinion, every week on top level. So to have that kind of performance was really exceptional. I think then, like, the semifinal was just, they were just the law of the strongest, you know. They were just too strong for us, Russia. But Serbia, we could have done something for the third place. We were leading on some moments also. We lost in a tiebreak. That was tough. I also remember after this tournament, we were sitting in the dressing room, and Vital was our coach back then. And like, we had very good results that summer in World League. We finished 7th. We had 4 plays on European Championship, and still the major thing he could talk about of that summer was disappointment. And it was tough to hear, because, like, also I think it was on a positive side, the feeling that he expected we could do better, and I agreed with that. on the other hand, also we gave a lot of effort and a lot of emotions and a lot of all of us. We put a lot of it in the practices and in the games. So that was tough to hear a little bit. It was like only disappointment remaining. I think he would maybe reconsider it like back now and he would think about it. But yeah, for me it was a learnful experience and a learnful summer in the end. Yeah.
Right then, what are you really looking forward to when this is all over and we're back to normal?
Oh God, like just get rid of the stress of all people. Like you can go to the store now and like everybody is so sketchy and like want to be so fast. Like, oh, you feel like the stress on the street sometimes, and that's so annoying for me. And then just be able to go to a family or whatever, to anyone without having to think like, oh, I should watch, like just be able to hug your friends or your family, like give a hug without thinking like, oh, I might infect them because I came from Russia or whatever. And that's like I hope it can be over as soon as possible, like everyone does. But yeah, I think for sure there's a lot of things to look forward to, and in my opinion also I think people will take less things for granted, maybe like getting a hug or shaking hands. Like it's so normal in regular life, and apparently like you see now it's not like so ordinary, you know. So we have to be grateful and appreciate these little things also sometimes.
The thing that I pick up from that is you saying taking for granted. I will never take any of these things for granted again. Like sport, you said earlier, you know, you turn on the TV and it's some football game from 1974. I can't wait to watch like the first volleyball 3-0 washout. Give me a 25-12, 25-13, 25-7. Bring it on. I cannot. Amazing stuff. Right then, before I leave you go, it'd be really cool if we could get a message for the fans, because I'm sure they're really looking forward to you being back out on the court. So if you've got any words for them.
Yeah, of course. Like fans, stay patient like everyone. Keep following us players on social media. Like a bunch of us are doing some cool stuff from time to time. It's also a different way to get to know us in regular life. And hopefully you'll get to see us back on the court as soon as possible. Stay tuned.
Sam, you're a good man, mate. Thank you so much for having a chat. I feel awesome now. Yeah, I look forward to catching up with you when this is all over, and I will see you at a court soon. Behave yourself, mate. Stay safe.
Okay, man. See you, man. Thanks.
Bye. And that was Sam Deroo. Super cool guy. Super cool name as well. Is that the coolest name in volleyball? Let me know what you think next time you drop me a message. If you've got a cooler name than Sam Deroo, then I want to hear it. The first time I met Sam was after a Champions League game, and Zaxa had lost quite heavily to Lube, and it was a massive night for them as well. They've moved the venue to make sure they were in a bigger gym, and there were sort of 10,000 people there. So it must have been a tough loss. I mean, Lube, obviously a great team, but you still want to put on a good show for your fans. He spoke to me, I interviewed him after the game, and he was a gentleman and he was professional, and that can't be easy after you've just taken a heavy defeat like that, and I've had a huge amount of respect for him ever since. So thankfully, he's a good guy, and hopefully that came across and you guys enjoyed that. That's one of many Unscripted, so you can head over to CEV's Instagram and YouTube channels to watch more, and don't forget to check in on Facebook and Twitter as well. We're still helping you pass the time, and hopefully you're still finding ways to keep yourselves entertained if you're still on lockdown. You know the story by now. We've spoken about it enough times. Stay home, stay safe. Can't wait to see you on the other side, but until then, take care of yourselves.